Welcome to an Idle Engineer seasonal special. In this video, we make a Christmas tree out of pallet wood. It lights up, says Merry Christmas, and even has presents underneath. We'll start with the tree. My only limiting factor with this tree was that at its widest, it can only be 28 inches in order to fit on the porch that it was designed. So I took apart some pallets and cut off all of the raw ends. I just started arranging them around, trying to figure out what would look best since they were all different widths. Once it was arranged how I thought it would look good, we drew lines and all the pallet boards were then cut to the right length. Once I got it all cut out, I realized that the overall height of the tree was a little bit too short, so I added some more limbs. Everything was sanded down in preparation for painting. I took care to sand really well on this project. Since it's going to be sitting on somebody's front porch, I wanted to make sure that nobody tore their clothes or got cut just walking by. I used an exterior primer to help seal in the wood. The trunk of the tree is made of a 2x4, and I realize it's a little bit like putting lipstick on a pig, but again, I wanted to make sure I sanded it down really well. The base of the tree is also made out of 2x4s and screwed together with deck screws. For ease of storage, we wanted to make the base of this tree removable. 2 large holes were drilled through 2 sides of the base and through the tree trunk. These accepted bolts and wing nuts. I marked out where all of the tree limbs were going to be because I needed to route out some channels behind them in the 2x4. This tree will be lit with a strand of exterior Christmas lights. These channels will allow for easier and cleaner wiring. The base and the trunk were painted brown with an exterior paint primer combo. The lighting for this tree was a little bit difficult and time consuming. The strand that we got from the store had light bulbs every 3 inches, and it didn't work out that you could just drill every 3 inches and it fit because each board that we had a different thickness. So I would drill one hole, fit the light bulb, measure for the next, and do this for each individual light bulb for the entire tree. Once I got going and figured it out, it went a lot quicker, and I ended up with a little bit of extra length at the end, which I was hoping for. Once the lights were installed, you can see those invisible channels in the back made the wiring look really tidy. Now that the dry fit is complete, everything was disassembled and spray painted green. I marked the center on all of the tree limbs to help with installation. The lights were reinstalled and this time hot glued into place. Once all the lights were glued in, the base was installed and the tree was stood up. I sprayed on a little bit of silver glitter spray paint for some extra Christmas magic, and that finishes up this portion of the build. Now, the ornaments that say Merry Christmas. The 14 ornaments for this tree were made out of 1/4-inch plywood. I glued on a template and cut them out using the bandsaw. I used the belt and disc sander to even up all the ornaments up to the lines and to sand off all the templates. I ended up making 16 instead of 14 ornaments for the inevitability that I mess some up. Each ornament was then hand sanded to knock off any sharp corners. Even though this is going to be under the cover of a porch, I want to primer everything just in case. I used metallic silver spray paint for the tops of these ornaments. In hindsight, it might have been easier just to use a paintbrush and some modeling paint. Once the silver was dry, I taped it over and painted the rest of the ornaments with a gloss red. Into the top of the ornament, I pre-drilled a hole and screwed in tiny silver eyelets. For the Merry Christmas, I don't have the greatest of penmanship, so I went to the craft store and I found these really thick silver alphabet stickers. I used super glue and glued them onto each of the ornaments. The ornaments were strung on a string and hung from eyelets that I screwed onto the back of the Christmas tree. It's all coming together. Now finally, the presents. The presents are simple cubes that are made out of MDF. We cut out the squares on the table saw, glued, and brad nailed them together. All 3 boxes were primered and then had a base coat of gloss red. Tape, razor blades, and more paint was used to make these fun designs on these presents. Holes were drilled to accept dowels that would keep these in place on the base of the tree. Finished and ready for display. Thanks for watching our video. Subscribe to our channel and follow us on Instagram to keep up to date with new videos and fun projects.